My husband made the decision to move to my hometown and now I'm resenting him. So I married my husband 5 years ago and moved to his hometown. We now have a daughter, under 1. A few months ago he made the decision to move to my hometown. His reason was childcare from my family whilst we were at work as his family didn't really make an effort to help. I didn't want to move. I was happy to leave our daughter at a nursery. So within 3 months we packed up our lives and moved to my hometown. He left his job and we moved in with my family. This was meant to be temporary whilst we find a new place. However, my husband doesn't seem to want to find a job. We seem to be living 2 separate lives and I have had enough of the stress of finance. I am due back at work in a couple of months and feel like my husband is waiting to rely on me. He doesn't seem to be looking hard enough for a new job. He spends most of his night out with my brother whilst I'm home with our daughter. He is being overly fussy about the job he gets. We can't afford to be fussy. We also seem to have ended up in 2 different rooms and my daughter is always with me. He seems to think he doesn't need to help me anymore with our daughter. I think he expects my family to take over. My family are now having a go at me to push him to get a job, but I can't be bothered dealing with his excuses anymore. It feels like since we've moved in with my family has taking advantage of me and my family. I've tried speaking to him and now I just can't stand him. I don't want to be around him. I feel like I made a mistake by moving. I miss my best friend I left behind and my independence. My buddy faked his entire college education and graduation. Must read. This happened several years ago. I went to a big West Coast school and graduated. My sophomore year a kid moves into the frat house as a freshman. We'll call him Walter. Basically, after his first semester in college, he flunked out with straight Fs. He couldn't bear to tell his parents, so what he did was he borrowed some friends' report cards and cut and pasted A's and B's on the report card template with his name on it, covering up the F's. He then copied that and sent it to his parents. For tuition, his parents would send checks made out to him to pay it with. Walter continued cutting and pasting for 4 years with different classes copied from different friends' report cards. At the end of 4 years when he was supposed to graduate he borrowed a cap and gown and told his parents that he just wanted to do the big ceremony in the stadium, not at the business school where he supposedly graduated from, and they hand out your diploma and call your name, etc. He just sat with his buddies in the stadium while his proud family watched. He posed for pictures with his folks and his grandparents. Walter then moved back home and went on living his life as a college graduate. Walter is now a successful guy with kids, family, mortgage, etc., and nobody has ever ratted him out. My GF and her family hate me because she took Plan B. My 21F GF of about 3 years has a way higher sex drive than me. A little into a year of our relationship, she started asking if I wanted to have sex without condoms and just pull out. I agreed, but felt terrible after the first month about the anxiety and asked her if it's okay I use condoms again. She didn't exactly say no, but she started telling me that I'm too anxious all the time. She knows her body better than me, and got very upset at me. Whenever I would try to bring in a condom before sex after this, she would always repeat the same stuff to push me away from using it. I was obviously very reluctant, but agreed because she told me she would get Plan B or the abortion pill in the case of an accident. She seemed to really like it and she would often verbally talk about how hot it would be to be pregnant while having sex, telling me to finish in her. I would always pull out regardless. Flash forward to August 2023, I just had sex with her and pulled out. She wanted to go again and I was unsure because I didn't want her to accidentally get pregnant if I came more when I put it back in. I went into the bathroom to wash off and she started telling me I can just do it again and finish inside her because she will take Plan B. I agree, do the deed, and she immediately freaks out at me saying she didn't think I would actually do it. Regardless, I immediately took her to get Plan B, paid for it, went over what it was with her, etc. She told me I was too anxious about it and it's fine. A few days later, her parents discover the wrapper by going through her garbage and flip out, telling her the pill is dangerous and she should have known better. They never discussed this with her before. They started citing these anecdotes and non-reputable websites against my GF would be infertile or have her uterus removed. They were crazy about COVID and told her similar things about me making her infertile because I have the vaccine in my blood. She tells them the reason why she took it is because she felt pressured by me to take it, as I took her to the store and paid for it. She calls me after to tell me that she should have ended our relationship long ago and she can't believe I would have given her this. She's mad I gave her the pill, not that I finished inside. Her parents told her it would have been safer to get an abortion. I say okay, and later that night she texts me wanting to talk and apologizing, saying that the hormones made her that way. At the same time, she tells me we can't see each other in person for a while because her parents will kick her out. 1 month passes, and just yesterday, I see her for the first time. She is tracked by her parents, so I basically just have to walk around her neighborhood with her. Within 5 minutes of seeing me, she looks at her phone, sees her mom approaching our location, and without explaining starts running. Afterwards, I'm talking to her and basically saying, I really don't think getting you the pill was wrong and nothing was communicated to me about you not wanting to take it. I don't feel comfortable being treated by her family in this way as well. She then tells me that her parents have been having her test different therapists so they can find one appropriate for her to let go of me, and that it was my fault she had to take the pill anyway, so I don't have a right to play victim. At this point I feel very guilty. She was my first girlfriend and I love her more than anything. I feel the best thing to do is just end the relationship, but I can't bring myself to do it, especially to leave her alone to deal with her parents. Sibling sleepovers. I've been meaning to get this off my chest for a while now because I always randomly think about it and get a pang of guilt. My brother is a year older than me and we've always been super close. We did practically everything together and never left each other's side. This stuff took place when I was around 6 or 7 and he was 7 or 8. I shared a room with my sister, so sometimes I would sleep in his room because we would stay up talking, hide snacks in the closet for later that night, read books with flashlights, and even sneak the iPad sometimes. One night we were messing around as usual when he, being a little boy, got curious and asked what a girl's private looked like. At this time I had no idea what a male private part looked like either, so I was curious too. We just innocently let each other see and non-sexually touched each other. This happened once more, but it was innocent and never went further. Sometimes I wonder if he remembers too, but I hope it never has to be brought up ever again. I've never told anyone about this. In 12 hours I will get the answer, divorce or open marriage. I gave him an ultimatum. Either an open marriage or divorce. I caught my husband of 12 years cheating on me. I do know the girl because she is a part-time cashier at the local grocery store. He has been spending a lot of money on her. I got the proof and confronted his ass. He did what most cheaters do. Deny and gaslight. When he couldn't make up more lies he finally caved and started with his big man tears of "Don't leave me baby, I swear I will change." I gave him options. Either we open our marriage, and keep our home and keep our children and they will grow up in a house and not shift every weekend. You can keep your side chicks as long as you do not bring them into our home. We will have set of rules and boundaries. I laid out all the boundaries and conditions. 1. He cannot spend money from our joint account. He can spend money from his personal expenses, however, in case of emergency, he will put his family above his side chicks. 2. Never bring them home or into our space where we have our kids. 3. No family members or friends. 4. Always use protection and regular STD checkups. 5. We will tell each other about the dates and when are we going, who are we with. We do not have to share pictures of our partners. 6. If he gets a woman pregnant, it's the end, and if I get pregnant by another man, I will either get an abortion or put the kid to adoption, or if the father agrees he can keep the baby and I will sign away my rights, and yes, he is more than welcome to divorce me and I will not push him for child support for another man's child. Or, we will get a divorce. We will split everything evenly. The house is in my name, so I will keep the house. We will only contact through parenting app. No bad mouthing to our kids. If our kids want to know the truth later in life we will tell them. We will have a healthy co-parenting relationship. He can have as many girlfriends as he wants, but he shouldn't force our children to accept them. It's for our kids to decide. I gave him 48 hours. 12 hours is left. We will see what he decides. If he cannot, then I will make the decision for both of us. My decision is divorce.